Doing a little bit different video today. This video is on Stormworks. So if you play Stormworks and you're wondering how do I make a boat hull, how do I do anything in this game? This game's hard to build in. I hear that excuse a lot, and it's really not that hard to do things in this game. However, there's some kinks and stuff. This is a super easy tutorial. This is not anything hard. A fourth grader could probably do this. Okay. So it's just a simple boat haul that I made in like 8 minutes. That's with explaining to you guys. You guys could probably do it faster once you master the technique. But this is just a personal way I make my creations in this game. I have other creations in other tutorials, but this is one that I wanted to start out one because this is, after all, like more of a water-oriented game. So I won't leave you guys hanging. Let's see how to make a boat haul. Alright, so we're going to start out with something that is just you need to know. And I forget a lot of times, which screws up a lot of things. I suffer the consequences of it. You go over to symmetry and turn on X, the X symmetry. You want to go have your X value, because if you don't, it's going to be a pain in the butt. It's going to make everything harder, and your boat might not turn out symmetrical. Now, you might get lucky, but just turn on symmetry always. It's just a good thing to have going. Now you can close that tab, and the first thing that in the building process that we want to do is we want to make a basic line. So we just want to go, and however long your boat wants to be, or you want your boat to be, you're gonna do something like that. Now actually, you know what, I'm not gonna go that big for the purpose of this tutorial because it's meant to be relatively easy. Now you could count out from here and just start making the basic shape, but I don't believe in that. I want to be able to just go, hey, this is how wide I want my boat to be. Say I want it to be about that wide, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the very front and say this is where you want your front of your boat to be, which is pretty obvious. You kind of want your boat to be facing away. So you're going to go out here, and now you can go in sets of 2, and then just keep going back as such. Or for this, I'm just going to go ones. This will be a very this is going to be a very wide tutorial. But you could do this, like I said, I mean, you could totally go, let's just reverse that. I mean, you could totally go back by 2s to make this is going to make your, well, it's going to make your front narrower, right? So you're going to have a narrower front. This is better with hydrodynamics, but just remember, the longer your bow is, sometimes the boat gets a little bit unstable. The more surface area you have underneath your ship, which is gonna be, I usually use this as the top, and I'll show you that in a second. But like I said, actually, you know what? Let me go and just do 2s, because I feel like that would look better anyways. So just go back by sets of 2s. Now you can do alternate patterns as well, so you can like change it up a little bit. Say you really want it to come out here. If we did something like that, you can obviously see that it widens that, and it kind of stops it from going back too far, right? So, I mean, just play around with it, get something you want. Okay, now, once you got your boat basically shaped, you want to shape that and get it kind of laid out so you know where your bow is going to be. And this is going to have more bow than probably should have. But now you're going to want to take off, you know, you're just going to want to take off this outer edge, and that will, I think this way just speeds up the process instead of counting out each and every block. Boom. There you go. Right? Now you have your basic shape. You have your pointy tip and you have your flat tip at the back. Right? Now you're going to go and grab a wedge, and whatever wedge fits your style here, you're going to go in, and you're just going to, usually I just drag, I mean, you don't have to, but it's a lot easier if I can get this thing rotated in the right direction. I suck at rotating things in this game. Okay. Now you're just going to want to drag that back. I wouldn't recommend actually going out. This is a little, and if you're new, that's a good way of doing that. Now, here's where the tricky part comes in. So, it's not necessarily tricky. I mean, I might mess up a couple times, but you want to just get a pyramid block, right? And then you want it to really, you want it to match, like I said, the wedges that you're doing. So, in this case, I'm doing 1 by 2, right? And you're just going to make your first line here, and you're going to rotate it around to where it looks like it's angled downward, and you're just going to pull that back all the way to here. Now, you can make it to where it just keeps going down, and then just make the whole bottom of the boat, like you'll see it. If we kept doing that, it would make the bottom of the boat really, really narrow. Well, you can do that, and that would be like a good canoe, but we don't want to do that here. We actually want to make a different style of boat, which is flat bottom. You don't want to have a canoe shape in this type of hull anyways. So now the next thing you're going to need is a pyramid, an inverse pyramid to be exact. I want an inverse pyramid, and you're just going to place it right here at your starting point. Right? Now, as you go back, you will need to space these out. So then now you'll make your next line, right? So say we wanted to make our next line, and you just brought that back. Now it goes to there. Now you're going to need an inverse pyramid right there. So let's just find that out. Right. Hang on. I'm stupid. Now you're just going to want to place that there. Now you can already see that it's keeping, now that's going to be your edge of the boat. So if you keep going here, and we just did this like step at a time, right? And just keep coming back and then match it up and then put your inverse pyramid in and then you just come back, and we're going to do this over and over again until you want that shape, until you want, however deep you want the hull to be. So you're just going to drag that back and then keep going. So now you just want to take your block and just fill that in. Boom. Now you can obviously see that it looks like a boat, right? Now, a very shallow bottom boat, but this is just a tutorial. You can go as however deep you want. You don't have to make it 1x2s. I like using 1x2s personally. Now you want your 1x2 wedge again. Wherever did I put that? Grab our wedge. You want your 1x2 wedge, and then you just want that to match again to whatever you're doing, and then just drag that up all the way to the top. Boom! You have a boat hull right there. Now, I mean, it's pretty simple from here. Honestly, you just take this and fill in the sides of the boat, right? Usually, I mean, okay, I will say this. Another way you could do it is just take a line down the middle, and that's actually a great idea. I mean, you could really easily make a boat hull like that just by doing this, and just like that. Now you just seal it up, just like so. And boom. So that's this is kind of like your bow tutorial, but I mean, I'll go into depth here with the rest of the hull here in a second. Now, another feature, a cool feature, which you just saw there, was say if I were to take, I don't know, yay much out of the hull and just do something like that. Say I wanted to say, oh no, it's going to make it outside of my hull. It doesn't. Okay, so if you ever see that, it's fine, just as long as it fits up right there, okay? Now, usually I always take some inverse pyramids to flatten out this side. Right? And then you could also run that back. I mean, you don't have to have it flat, but there you go. There's your basic hull. That's how to make a hull. Now, you could do a lot more with it. I mean, and then you just add the stuff on top, but that's just kind of how you make your bow. I used to get confused with that a lot, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. So if you want more of this type of stuff, let me know. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell for more, and I'll see you on the next one.